Okay, so this video is going to be going over what I did for the last 2 months on my Asia server account. This is an account that's completely free to play besides just, of course, Battle Pass and Welcome, which of course is not free to play, but it is the only two resources that I buy on the account. So we spend $5 a month for the Welkin Moon, and we spend $10 every month and a half, which is $7.50, I guess, every month, because every patch is a month and a half. So that's about $12.50 a month on this account. Big whale. Huge, actually insane. And I'm going to tell you about how long it took me to fully max a character to triple crown. So I'm going to do it. First off, the most basic of factors, you are going to need the character levels and hero wits. If you're not aware of how many hero wits, I believe the amount of hero wits you're going to need for an entire character is 420 hero wits, or like each one of these is worth 1/4 of a hero wit, and each one of these is worth 1/20th of a hero wit. So if you wanted to add up the accumulation of what you have for those, that's how much it costs to level up a character. So a while ago, I made a video on how to max everything, how much more it takes to max every last thing in the game. It is for the Artifact Bible video. I'll link to that video in the description below. It goes over everything. And this video also went over like how much more it's going to cost to level 5-star weapons, talents, etc. The amount of mora I'm going to need for my characters is pretty simple. I already did all the math. If I want to level every single talent on my characters up to level 9 talents, it's going to take me a total of 2.8 million mora. And if I want to get everything to 8 talents, it's going to be 1.5 million more. To level the character, though, it's only going to be about 2 million total, I say. But if you want to get the character to, say, 80 Ascended, it's going to take you 1.287 million mora. So a lot less to level to 80 Ascended. So to make sure I get all this done, what I actually had to do was farm up a ton of talent books and other materials. So right now I am in the midst of farming my Magu Kenki, and I will probably be done. I'm about halfway there. I need a total of 46 of these marionette cores to get done, and I already have the crystals. Luckily, Genshin Impact is one of those games where they start giving out more and more crystals as time goes on. For some reason, they just give us lots and lots of crystals. So I'm probably going to be okay as far as the crystal section of this goes. As for talent books, in order to get my characters to 10 talents for a completely maxed new main character, for whatever character I might want to max out, which is probably not what we're going to do. You're probably going to go an 888 or 999 on talents, depending on what you want. For level 8 talents, it's going to take you a total of 30 purple books. For level 9 talents, a total of 66 purple books. And finally, on level 10 talents, it's going to take you a total of 114 purple books. As you can see, I only have 74 right now of the 114 required, so there's going to be a ways to go. For leveling any new character in Genshin Impact as a free-to-play or budget player, it takes a significant amount of time and resources to get these. Every single 20 resin bomb that you spend is approximately worth at least 1 purple book, and that's not even including the 66 blue books and 9 green books you're gonna need in total. If you just add on top of that, that's basically another 33 purple books or 34 purple books, depending on how you look at it. And that's a significant amount of total amount of runs. The amount of resin required to get all talents to maximum is going to be approximately 2,960 resin, or about 3k resin in total. Depending on how lucky you get, it can be about 2,500 or so, or up to like 3,100, depending on how unlucky you get. Going back to the hero wits, with all the hero wits it takes to get it to level up one character, you're going to need about 420, and each resin run that you're doing is going to take you up to approximately 6.25 hero wits. We go down to the list of reason why, because if you spend 20 resin on any event for the Leyline Disorder at AR40 plus, or I think it's AR45 plus actually, you get 4 to 5 hero wits and 6 to 7 adventurer wits, which is on an average of 6.25 wits per 20 resin. That's going to be roughly 1,340 resin to actually get one character fully maxed out for hero wits. For the total amount of mora that you're going to need to max a character, and we're going to actually add in the weapon. If you remember the video we just put out, there's also going to be a character weapon on top of this for a 4-star or 5-star weapon, which is adding somewhere between 750,000 all the way up to 1.1 million if you're adding on a brand new weapon. For the character in question that we're talking about today, for me, I am actually leveling up Kazuha, and I've actually been farming for Kazuha. I actually farmed out an entirely new weapon for him, got him an entirely new weapon, new artifact set, etc. Everything prepared for him specifically, and I have 2 Animo sets along the way to get myself an Elemental Mastery set, and I also have, of course, a crit set on the side to give myself a very wide array of what I can actually work for the character. Going back to just the Mora part of this, since we were going to see 1.1 to 750 Mora, 750k Mora, with excluding all the materials that we're going to need, we're going to calculate how much Mora it's going to take to max a weapon as well. If you talk about any weapon domain, each of the weapon domains that we do gives us approximately 1 to 2 purple drops per run on average. So I'd say about 1.5 or so, because you can actually get the orange drops every so often. That I know they're rare as hell, but when you do get one, they're significantly still the averages. So I'd probably say it's about 1.25 purple books per 20 resin, purple per 20 resin. 1.5. I just do it a range to make sure I can see what the actual cost is. Now, for leveling any 4-star weapon in the game, this is going to take you a total of 9 of the blue and purple materials, 3 green and 4 orange, as well as leveling a 5-star weapon. It's going to take you 5 green, 14 blue, 14 purple, and 6 orange. Now, this total amount comes out to a very interesting amount of resin. So far what we have is talent books are going to take us about 2,900 resin in total. Hero wits are going to take us about 1,340 wits. 4-star weapons and 5-star weapons are going to take about 360 to 560 overall wits, depending on the range of what we're going to need. And that's a significant amount of total resin so far. Now, in addition to that, we have, of course, the Mora cost that we found out earlier was going to be a total of 2 million Mora over here, 2 million Mora for the character, 5 million more for the talents, for triple crown everything, and then finally we're going to be going all in on a 5-star weapon, which gives us a total of 8.28 million Mora. Now, if we know that we get 8.28 million Mora to max a 5-star weapon as well as 5-star character, each Mora run that we do, of course, is 60,000 Mora per 20 resin. So the total amount's gonna be about 137 runs, which we totally add up. It's gonna be 2,750 resin, which we'll have to round up to about 2,760. That's just the talent books, hero wits, 5-star weapon or 4-star weapon, whatever it may be, and of course the Mora resin value for doing everything. Now comes to the hard part for the artifacts. When we talk about leveling up the artifacts for the character and getting the right artifacts. Now, in general, to get a good artifact in the same spreadsheet, I actually go over exactly how long it takes for you to fully get characters' artifacts up to a certain tier level and what the probabilities are of each weapon at each tier level and what your chances are of getting those weapons. So first thing you have to do is get the drop for the weapon, the overall material, and then next you have to get about the C or B tier artifacts. Now, looking at my artifacts, each doing artifact runs for about a month got me to an artifact set to this level, and that's basically what it takes, somewhere between 1 to 2 months to get yourself an artifact set, depending on how lucky or unlucky you get. Now, we keep on the math structure for 1 to 2 months to max out artifacts for a character to get yourself the artifacts that you actually need. Subtracting, of course, the 1 day a week that you're going to be using to farm out your weekly bosses. There's 30 days in a month on average. Take that 30 days minus 4 days out of the month, because those four of those days are going to be taken up for you completely farming on one other thing. That's 26 days of artifact running. Multiply that times 180 resin per day. That comes out to 4,680 resin. And that's just if it only takes you 1 month. If it took you 2, it might take you even longer than that. Now, for me personally, it took about a month of artifact grinding for me to get this up. So artifacts could be somewhere between 3,000 resin all the way up to about 6,000 resin, I would say, to get yourself a completed artifact set. And that's up to the standards of getting yourself, if you didn't see my previous video, getting yourself somewhere between B and C tier artifacts, depending on what you really need with artifacts. Nothing for an A tier, S tier artifact where you get all the perfect rolls, but just something where you actually get, enough rolls on your overall thing for crit rolls just to get by. For me personally, for this one, of course, it was for elemental mastery rolls mixed with some crit rolls and energy recharge with an elemental mastery main stat. So of course I was not able to get perfect rolls every single piece, but of course I got very decent rolls across the board. And I still do not have an elemental mastery plume even after the month of farming. The last thing that we're going to need to calculate, of course, is going to be the materials it's going to cost for ascending the character. You're going to need a significant amount of materials to ascend each character, which is the material they actually have to worry some of is not the crystals. You actually just have to be worried about the amount of marionette cores, cleansing hearts, whatever they may be, just the hero level up materials. You need a total of 46 of these to get your character to 80 ascended or 90. which is going to take you somewhere between 16 and 23 total runs on the boss. That comes out to be about 780 resin on average, because it can be a range of 640 resin to 920 resin, depending on how many drops that you get per boss, because you get 2 to 3 drops per boss at higher AR. Let's push us up to about 13,380 resin. Now, the reason I want the next character, which is Kazuha, so badly is because if you look at my current box, the only character that I have that is Animo is going to be the Animo Traveler. I actually don't have any other Animo characters on my account. And I've actually, as a meme, I kind of maxed out Animo Traveler a little bit, because I was like, you know what, I don't have any other Animo characters, and it's been like 9 months and I'm still waiting on Sucrose, and the banner's out today. But you know what, since the next banner is Kazuha, I might as well go for that. But seeing how the last character I summoned for was Hu Tao, and I actually went for her and a Staff of Homa, the next character I was going to go for was a character that really needed for my account. At the time, the character I most needed for my Asia server account was actually a Pyro DPS. Looking back at my account, I don't have Diluc, I don't have Klee on this account. I ended up just needing a Pyro DPS, and Hu Tao was the next option that came out, so I ended up going for her. Now that I need an Animo character on my account, the next character I'm going to be going for is going to be Kazuha, and I'm going to fully max out Kazuha. Now, at that point, the core building blocks for the account that I really want, and I have my 2 Cryo DPS, I got 2 or 3 Geo characters. I ended up having 3 Pyro characters at the end of this for Zhang Ling, Bennett, and Hu Tao. And then lastly, I of course got 2 Hydro characters, Shinku, and then I'll build up Mona eventually. Because I have all the characters of every element that I do need, I actually got to the point with this Kazuha thing where I'm actually going to be fully finished with my account for all the elements I'm going to need, and I can actually summon on whatever I want and go fully meme-tastic from this point forward. I digress off the other stuff for the endgame content. I want to talk more about what you're going to need for maxing one character. Now, in addition to that, I have also stockpiled about 2 months worth of Primo Gems that I got from the Battle Pass, as well as the Welkin. Of course, on this account, I do not spend money on wishes besides the normal stuff. I only buy the Welkin of the Welkin Moon, and I do not use any kind of top-up mechanics throughout my account. Someone gifted me $1 though. That was really weird. Like through that top-up service, I thought it was pretty funny. And then on this account, of course, I buy the Battle Pass every single time it comes around, but of course, I don't buy the very expensive Battle Pass, because I'm not gonna buy this $20 one. Screw that. And because I've been saving for 2 months for one character, and I've been saving my wishes for a very long time for one character, I'm able to actually go in on the next character banner and get that next character. So the last time I summoned on this account was, as you can see, back in April, and I actually was summoning specifically for, I believe, what was I summoning for? I think it was Hu Tao. We were summoning for Child. The last time I summoned was for Child, and I ended up getting Mona instead. I haven't really done any summons really behind that. I did a couple for the Song of Broken Pines, and I actually caved a little bit. I actually did one summoning for the Song of Broken Pines. I was actually summoning for a Sacrificial Sword back in May, and I ended up only spending about 20 or 30 of my wishes there, because as you can see, I haven't really spent a lot of wishes since then. So because I've been saving all of my wishes for a long time, I'm going to have enough to summon for Kazuha. So if you're wondering why you're, as a free-to-play player, how I'll be able to get Kazuha guaranteed and get the weapon as hopefully as well, I will of course be saving for a very long time to do so. All right guys, well that's gonna do it for this video. My name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day.